don't know if we got time.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Okay, call meeting in order. I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda.
I will second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Approved.
Reviewed the minutes for July 16th and I motion to accept.
I'll second that.
Any discussion, changes? All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Motion passed. Meeting's 10, please.
I was out of town, almost all last week, but I did not have any meetings.
Me neither. A lot of calls about putting dust control on the road and. For 3 versus 5 supervisors, but other than that.
Yeah, I've heard a little bit about that also too.
Okay, that's what we want. We want feedback.
Several in favor and several nots. I had, we met with the DOT on, what day it was? Friday, that's one thing I want to get off. Pretty much going through, planning and they're down to final planning phases. There's a few things that we brought up to talk about. One was, the right of way, coming through, from the Woodland Trailer Court Road. Wanted to keep that as, right of way as restricted as possible. We have business opportunities. Sometimes we get a little bit carried away on how much on the speed of the road will make that. So if we keep the speed down, we don't need as much right of way. So that was one thing for business opportunities for our community. They slid over the highway a little bit more, down around Heaters. Stuff got that out in the field a little further out there.
Which way do they go?
They're going west.
We're still taking Scott's house.
Yes.
So they're just, instead of doing that S turn, they're gonna just kind of shoot straight off the bluff and go.
Right. Yep.
Where Webb's at, they're not
There's
gonna
gonna be a
do
little turn there
that. Okay.
and, but, maybe like a 33-degree.
Okay.
And then, we had some discussion on how it, get back onto our county roads there. So they're kind of working on that a little bit. Adam had some good ideas about the bridge. We're not putting it off at a bridge, whether we have to worry about, because the bridge's tonnage is not as high as what it would be if it's seen a lot of traffic. So we're trying to put it in a place where it won't put a lot of traffic on the
They
bridge.
still have our on-off south of town.
Yep.
Okay. Still
Um,
that weird slip lane thing.
no, it's changed now to and actually.
Good. That was dumb.
Yeah, and they think it'll work a little better, so we'll have 2.
Well, they got them all over 218 up and down. I don't know
Why not?
why they're not.
And then the other one was we talked about, they're still working on a little bit at the sheriff's office turn off. There's gonna be a turning lane on both sides. But since that is emergency route, it was brought to their attention that they kind of forgot that that is actually a Highway 61 emergency route in case there's anything that ever happened. So they might do a little better, longer turning lanes and stuff like that, just to prepare for more traffic. That could be. Because if that road ever got rerouted and emergency, there's gonna be a lot of traffic coming out of that intersection, especially if that's all 4 lane.
They say how high they're gonna raise the roadbed and the washouts.
4 foot is what I heard originally. The new bridge over the old Iowa River Bridge was 3 to 4 foot higher. I don't know if that's still the case, Sean. That's a good question. I didn't ask yet.
New bridge or bridges over the Iowa?
I guess they're gonna do bridges. Yeah. Cause they said the bridge is 60 years and
Lots of embankments and a few
this
bridges.
was coming up. Yeah, this one's. Getting close. We all lived it. But no, it was a good meeting and,
Public input is gonna be in October, you said.
October, they're gonna schedule and have a public hearing. And they're gonna get back and present it to us prior of some of the changes that came out of the meeting, so. We had a solid waste transfer station meeting, the first meeting on Tuesday night, didn't have a quorum. So we waited till, like quarter till, called the meeting. And then set it up again for last night, and we had the meeting last night successful, we had everybody there. We changed the amount of people we have to have. I think we have to have, I think it's 4 regulars and the chair to be there to make a quorum, so we can start having meetings, because we probably, I don't know, Jim, was it been out of the 3 meetings we've had this year, 2 out of the 3 we didn't have one.
3 out of the 4.
It could be, we just never get it. And so went out the 911 meeting, and we didn't have a quorum out there also. That was Tuesday night on it. But we decided that we had nothing really pending, that we could wait till the October one, is that correct? And then what else we had there's one other one. Oh, welcome, Bob, we're working on, we'll have a meeting Wednesday. We're still trying to work with the city for its beneficial for the community to do some tipping and stuff like that. So we're trying to come out with what's best. We don't tip too early and get us a timeline. I guess the way I'm understanding, like I said, I don't know a whole lot about TIF, I'm learning a lot, but it sounds like on the TIF, if you don't use the money, it don't actually start until you start spending the money, so. We're trying to orchestrate that where it don't get us in trouble in the future.
Yeah, because there's a timeline that will run out before you use it.
And they said if we take the TIF now, it'll be activated, but until we start spending money, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're working on that. We got a meeting Wednesday to kind of get that working. We get 40 lots possibly in town, so.
You don't actually generate any money until the lots start to become improved. It locks that tax in place when you start to TIF it, and it's the added part of the benefit that you get. As you add houses and the taxes go up, that's the portion that you can get refunded back. So it's
Yeah,
it helps, but
we want to make sure it's
Actually,
beneficial
it's
to the
something
community and the
doesn't-
city,
doesn't do any good.
because there's gonna be quite expensive, they're estimating.
They're talking about doing that on downtown for the downtown Main Street too, which if they start to TIF now, that locks that tax in place, and then. If they get the grant and they upgrade the buildings and the taxes go up, then they can take that portion and
Use it.
apply it back to the grant.
So we're working toward that.
Yeah.
I think that,
It's a good tool, but you gotta
Yeah.
really kind of watch it.
yeah, I'm learning a lot. We did get her, we got her building up over our electronics area. I was with them from like 3 o'clock, and it was Friday, I think, till 7:30. They finished up. We got the building over electronics oil area that was required by DNR. And we're probably gonna purchase another trailer. We're gonna check on, see if we can finance it so we don't take over cash. And the savings to do it, about 115,000 for a loan trailer, but that'll pretty much set them up. We're looking at a 5-year note.
On the transfer station.
Yeah. And we can afford that, but we're pretty much compliant with all the things DNR requests us to do. So the only thing we have to do is a metal wall on the back of the concrete. That's just for longevity. It's nothing to do with DNR, but that just keeps the abrasive of the bucket scraping against the concrete for generations. Don't have to replace it, but
So the recycling bins at the transfer station, that's free to use?
Yeah.
It's
it's supposed to be for rural members. That's what it's set up for, because the cities all have their own recycling,
recycling.
but it's set up for the rural
Scrap metal, cans.
Yeah, the metal, you actually have to pay.
Okay.
Yeah, the cans, the plastic bottles.
Bottles, there was like four or five different slots there, I
Mhm.
can't remember them all.
Glass.
Appliances,
Yeah, appliances, yeah, and you pay for the appliances,
appliances,
but,
yeah,
but we have a place for them and better offloading and.
Yeah.
And confined areas.
it's good.
That's it. Public input. Have anything?
When you put a highway out here that you're gonna narrow down, it's gonna increase the speed limit, that's a new bypass.
No, that is the actual, the Woodland, they're gonna close that road going out to Woodland. And they're gonna put another access road into it, so we're just trying not to take so much right away. They have a tendency when they do buyouts, they try to buy and then make it all one area where the state owns. But we're trying to narrow it down, there's business opportunities in between that road and existing highway. Anything else? Payroll changes, we did send them out. Quite a few.
A lot of shift changes.
Um. Here's the icon. John, you seen this generator law?
Yeah, I saw it. Mhm.
What's the ICAP insurance cover?
Like, what are you talking about?
I mean, what do they do for you?
We have several parts with them. We have health insurance.
Is it your health insurance too?
We also have liability insurances. We have a lot of insurances.
How much, what's the total on that for the year? I'm still looking for
A lot.
it. But I mean, what is this? No, you can't do anything about it, I know, but I'm just curious. It's all our buildings, it's auto insurance. Property.
I don't know what was in the budget, whatever it was budgeted, I don't know what that.
Well, health insurance,
Yeah, the health insurance was already figured in, like the rate, they didn't change the rate at all from last year, so.
I think besides payroll, that's probably our second biggest expense.
is that the one that's protecting you guys on this lawsuit with Sam Wilson? Part of representing you guys,
Part of it,
It's part of their service. I mean, it's money.
but you don't have the total for it though. No, it's not here.
Well,
So how do you
It's-
prove that then, but anyway.
well, no, it's, we did that on our budgeting. Is what we approved the number didn't go up, but this includes all of our buildings. This is taking our courthouse from where we used to keep it at 1 million. We got it, I think we're insured for 25 million on the courthouse now. All of our buildings were underinsured, so this is all through that. This is for all of our health insurance. This is for all of the vehicle insurance throughout the whole county. So it's just not one number.
right, yeah, because each
I
department.
don't have a grand total of what you spend.
We'll get to you for
Text
next month,
us and see if
You
she
can
got
have that
it.
next month. Second
Yeah.
or
paragraph,
next week.
our underwriting team is working hard to ensure your invoice packet is released as quickly as possible.
They divide that up to each department, so the sheriff's department in their budget, they've got
Sure.
a certain point, and
Sure.
so. You'd have to add it all up. but I'm
I
sure
would
we
think
could
you
do
would
that.
know though.
They have been working on it at this
Mhm.
point, they haven't, we are basically just supposed to sign this
Do you
separate.
pay that monthly?
I'm not really sure.
The health insurance.
Yeah, health
That-
insurance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's on our claims, that was on claims just last time.
But we approved all the numbers at budget,
Mhm.
so the numbers are.
Yeah, I'm excited. Probably a dozen different
Yeah,
budgets.
we'll get it for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Cause I'm sure Jim would want that too.
Just make sure you're sitting down when you find.
No, I'm totally
Yeah.
aware that stuff's expensive.
Very expensive.
Your health insurance for your employees, like your sheriff's office, or your employees over the courthouse, is it a family plan or is it just for the employee?
Both.
Either.
You can have either or.
Either or.
It's the same way. We're all-
Okay.
If you want the family plan, you know, and some people choose not to because they're on their spouse's plan, so.
I just went over to give.
Are they reimbursed if they don't take it?
I'll make a motion if you want to sign the renewal for ICAP insurance for fiscal year 2025.
We'll second that.
Any more discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye. Not my signature. Their signature.
And Adam's not coming in today, he's on vacation.
Yeah. I have been in contact with him over the Mark Kemper situation, so. We're working through that. so.
I think it was already worked out.
Yeah.
Just weather hasn't let them get
Yeah.
there and Mark get Nancy.
And
You want me to sign these two here?
Yeah.
Hey, Brian, how about you, you got anybody you're waiting on? To get you down 9:15.
Came a little early.
Let's do it.
So I'd open up to say we were all affected like globally, like the crowd strike, data outage and all that kind of stuff, the internet outage. And we found that out the morning we arrived, but I notified John with RNS about 7 in the morning. He already knew about it. And courthouse, most of the courthouse was out, but I just want to give kudos and thanks to John because he came and quickly had Louisa County back up. I don't know if we're a small application in the world or a small structure, but there are major airlines, everybody else still struggling in the evening and into the next day. And John had us back up probably around 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
I think you were with him. The county roads about quite last visit out there.
did it affect our 911?
Didn't, this was my first call. I was afraid the computers drive the jailhouse door, unlock, so I checked in. All was good out there.
Okay, good.
But John did an excellent job. He stayed right on top of it. And he had a plan
He's
and
a great asset.
just the fact that he knew how to fix it and we can count on him. So when you see him, give him big huge thanks. For EMA, so we're on the downhill side of all the high water. So the water gone down in the rivers. So by tomorrow afternoon, we'll have left major flooding down into moderate flooding. We'll leave moderate flooding down into minor flooding by tomorrow afternoon. We'll be in minor flooding stage. By the end of the week, we'll be off the chart. We'll be back to normal river levels by then. So I would say though, that was just a good eye opener for us. We're always getting right up there to the almost point on the high water and the levees. And all it would take would be another big freak rain, just like happened in the Northwest. And we would be swimming, we would be going into our drills for high water and flooding and things like that. The response from the Homeland Security has been good. They've learned their lessons over the years, so they're ahead of us now instead of behind us in our need and our questions. So the only thing I got from that too, though, kind of it's related, but for Lake Odessa, that comes up with the river. So cabin owners are down there, lost access to the cabins, which is typical and expected. But there was some boaters down in Lake Odessa that identified a couple of weak spots in the lake. There was some erosion that was happening right along one of the control pipes. I don't know if the upper or the lower, but some erosion right there that was gonna need to be repaired. That's okay. But then I think some boaters contacted the DNR to let them know there was a major boil going on in Twosboro, north of the pipes. So those are the outlet pipes. So just a little bit north of those pipes, there was a big sloughing off of what turned out to be a boil and some good significant damage. So about a week later, I got contacted by the Fish and Game asking for a sandbagging machine. And as an agency, I don't have one, but we have a couple in the area and I provided some resources for them. But by the time I called him back, he'd already solved the problem, but they had installed 1,000 sandbags in that boil that was sloughing off and some major damage. That would have only affected Lake Odessa area though. But then, so a week after that, there must have been some phone tag things going on between the Corps of Engineers and the DNR and some late emails because the Corps of Engineers called me and had just heard about it. And they were wanting me to get in touch with the DNR and arrange a visit down there. So that was easy for me to do. I've got all the contacts. connected Andy Robbins with the Corps of Engineers guy. They had two rivers on that, coincident on that same day, they were down at Kingston. They came right up and DNR took them out to look at it and evaluate it, so. That will be a fix in the fall, as soon as the water goes down, I'm sure.
That wasn't where it broke before, was it, that area?
I don't believe so, I think that was further,
Isn't there a spillway right there?
Yeah, that's what I had called, and the reason the Corps of Engineers called me is because I had been requesting information about the spillway levels. On the Twosboro side, the Iowa River side, and that spillway, and monitoring the river gauges and. But we've got citizens out there with boats and all kinds of things that got their eye on it. So for the typical levee districts, they monitor their own levee sections, but when you get to right there, there's nobody that monitors, so.
Just DNR and Fish and Wildlife.
Yeah, I don't think they walk it like they don't need to, but
Well, with their spillways, they can't get through.
yeah.
There's areas they can't get to. even.
Yeah. Yeah, but those citizen boaters are out there, got their eye on stuff, and then with, cameras on your phone now and drones and everything else, lots of picture taking going on, picture sharing, that's all good information.
I wonder. When the water changes, instead of flowing into the lake, instead of out of the lake, if they need to ring the other side of the boil. I mean, we're gonna change here in the
Yeah.
next week.
Probably.
I
So
don't
with
know.
my drone, that thermal imaging drone is, I could mention to the National Weather Service and the Corps of Engineers that this thermal will pick up a boil. I haven't had a chance to find a boil yet, I've looked, but I haven't had a chance to find it. And that would have been a good opportunity, but it was just so far away, I couldn't have got there with the drone. I've had other partners get me back in there, but it's so inconvenient, but that's a good source, is that thermal imaging drone, to look at that stuff. Internet, way in advance.
On the road.
So past the high water event, then we had a little windstorm rip through the county. And every single community sustained about the same level of damage. We had little limbs down, big limbs down, a few trees toppled. More than several big limbs on homes. But again, I'm assuming most of that's covered by homeowners insurance. And but all recoverable. A few power lines down, we lost some power for a while. Big tree branch on a car in Grandview. A utility trailer blowed over in Columbus Junction, give you the idea of the speed of that wind. And then right here in Wapello, just east of town on G62, there was a new construction, a moved in garage on a new construction site that was flattened. I don't think it was bolted down or something, but that structure was flattened. And even the 911 sign that I had just installed out front was bent over to give you the sheer factor of that wind. So Brad called me on that night and asked me, how are we doing? And for me, tucked down over the bluff, I'm doing fine. I didn't even feel the wind. It's still like a 30-mile-an-hour breeze. But then I heard about all the damage, and I did my damage assessment the next day. And in damage assessment world and Homeland Security, we have a new application to start collecting our damage assessment. And it's a new tool, and no one's been trained on it to proficiency yet. You rolled it out during the high water in the Northwest. So that's an app I would run around and start taking pictures and doing all this damage stuff. But what I learned previously, you collect all this information, you erase half of it because they only want to know underinsured or non-insured. So that's a big challenge for me to go out and do that in a major event. But those are the highlights of last month or so. We did have our 911 meeting, like Brad mentioned, on the 16th. I had a brief discussion about PSAP and the dispatch upgrades. And I feel, it's my personal opinion, we need to define a path or plan to be ready to replace that existing radio system that's out there. And the probable cost would exceed $1 million. And so right now we have a fund balance of about $670,000. That never grows a lot. It's a slow growth kind of a thing if we don't spend a lot. But we need to come up with a plan to be ready in a couple of years to address that issue. We'll have a shortfall in a couple of years. I can only imagine. But we're going to revisit that again in October budgeting time. And that was on the 16th. So the 17th had an emergency management commission meeting. And again, there's a problem with the quorum. We only had 3 members in attendance, but again, I'll just provide updates, no action required. In the world of safety, on the next day, on the 18th, we had our IMWCA, our workers' comp annual visit at 2 o'clock, and they just come in and advise that, an over summary would be that, we're gonna see an increase in our cost of our workers' comp, just due to the injuries we incurred and the claims we incurred last year. Because that's a rolling window, an average, and like probably 3 years in there, then it moves ahead every year. 1 year falls off, 1 year falls off, that you gain the next year. So, we're currently paying $79,000 a year for that policy. And in the past history, it's commented that it has been as high as 125,000 in history, in previous times. But not to say, I don't know what our new claims are going to be, our new costs, but that would certainly take effect in budget time for you guys. And that's all I got.
We have a list of the injuries that we had last year that would drive that cost.
We do, and it's always shared between the sheriff's office and county roads, which is typical just with the nature of the work that they do. So those two departments alone would cause pretty much the increase. Those are the only things we have. So in 2023, in the beginning of the year, it was January, February, we just had a couple of incidents or had some lost time and some claims affect us. And then the rest of the year was, pretty uneventful. And then this year we opened up relatively uneventful, but it said that last year is going to cost us to pay for the next couple of years. When that year rolls off, we can, reduce our injuries and our claims, we'll get back to normal.
Is there a commonality in the type of injuries there is something that we could do or work on, or is there? And another thing I had too is where I used to work, we had a kind of a contest that rewarded for not having injuries, and sometimes that helps make people think a little bit too.
Couple things on that. First is that yes, we can delineate accident by type. They're scattered and they're so infrequent, it's almost irrelevant, but to the nature of the work. But about the contest thing, that the rep did say, an aggressive safety implementation plan, it would be one way to get their attention, let them know we're looking at you. They can look and see if it's one person that's had multiple claims, is it one person or is it a department? Accident by type, they can scrutinize, and they're willing to do that with us if we want to address it that way.
Well, like if it's ice, slippage on ice, we can do that by ice cleats on the, give them away.
So when I worked for Levi Strauss, I was part of this safety committee. That's a population 350 people, and they had something like that too, tracking days between accidents, 0 days between accidents or whatever. And we would get up to a year without an accident. So in population Levi Strauss, we had less claims than we had in Wise County. But what we found was, and too, similarly, reason that we scored so well because people weren't reporting their injuries. Oh, I got to get hurt. Yeah. And what we wanted people to call the company nurse as soon as you get injured. Not that it won't affect our rate. If there's no claims paid, it doesn't affect our rate, but we want people to come forward and say, hey,
Nobody wins on that.
Yeah, so we got away from home that. It's kind of a strategy because we wanted to reward them for.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we wanted to reward them for working safer. That's what I'm about. Work safer, work smarter.
If it's cuts, we provide cut gloves. If it's slippage, we provide cleats. If it's smashed toes, we buy better shoes.
Yeah. There's just been a couple of oddball accidents that happen, errors in judgment,
Accidents
things like that.
could run into a fatality, and we do not want any of our injured employees to end up out.
So Adam was at that meeting, Adam Shutt, and for secondary roads, and I went and talked to him the following day, and he said he's gonna reiterate and spend more attention on letting those guys know about something. You have accidents, reporting the company nurse, let's talk about it before it happened, or before the claim goes out. It needs to be immediate. But the employee needs to take ownership to know you have an employee handbook and it says contact the company nurse within 24 hours. So there needs to be some ownership on the employee, follow up by the supervisor, those kind of things. But just a quick timeout and every day to say, think about safety, think about what you're doing. Don't take things for granted.
we're still doing the safety talks.
Well, what I did too, is rather than having a monthly safety meeting, I've gone department by department, so. Because just like every other meeting, the quorum, we'd have a meeting and have the people show up. So it's better to just go to the department heads and have meetings. Discussions with them, but
Oh, that's great.
that's all I got.
Keep it safe.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'm gonna stick around for the next topic because I'm a veteran. I may argue, or I may cheer for you. Depending on what you like to say.
All you gotta do is help me sign.
All right.
Okay, number 9. This is we have a military 65 and above. Homestead. Over here, Sean, you see this last year. I'll hand this
I'll
down.
probably ask the same question I'm gonna ask. This is a reduction in taxes.
Property tax.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then with the new rules coming out, law about 65 and above is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chris.
65. Your day's coming.
You hear me?
Is that just for military or is that doesn't count?
That's everything.
Everything, you can't have it unless you're 65.
Really? 65 is a different one, that is came out last year.
So
The last year,
Yeah,
yeah,
You have to re-sign up for that?
well, you can't get it, but everybody else can.
Okay.
No, you have to sign up for it. Yeah, and hey, you haven't signed up for it?
Well, I have almost never had it.
This is a little different.
It's a different one. You need to go to the assessor's office if you're 65 and over.
Okay.
a year ago. They got passed like the 1st of March and you had to sign up the end of June and it really made that office busy.
But if you really want to be American, you keep paying your continuing taxes. And that way.
The majority of them in this book are 65.
You might get a double.
There's
discount.
not a lot of military.
Yeah, sure.
I don't have the military, but
That's the majority of them in this book are 65 and over, so.
It's a year behind.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd sign up.
I signed up last year, I wanted it.
Did you sign up yet?
No.
Yeah, everybody should, 65, it's there.
Well, they should, but nobody does buy it.
It was quite a topic in the legislature a year ago.
Yeah.
They're pretty proud of it.
They talk.
You don't get internet,
They don't mean they pass them.
We gotta get internet in your area.
You gotta.
Cell phone coverage would be nice.
You gotta get somebody knows how to use it.
If you can get internet, you can get cell phone. I've done it before.
With the hotspot.
Yeah, hotspot, so.
I got it.
Yeah.
I just don't know how to use it. That smartphone's smarter than I am.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve the military homestead disability veteran application for 2024.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion?
Nope.
Not, all in favor?
Aye.
We have,
Just being happy.
well, with that being done, I would have make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
Meeting's adjourned.
Great.
Well, you guys got all this spare time now, what are you gonna do?
Go look for.
Take a reduction in wages.